This bridal shop mannequin may be the corpse of a woman. In 1930, Pascuala Esparza's bridal shop in Chihuahua, Mexico had placed a mannequin in their window. This mannequin had immediately caught the eyes of everyone. The reason why is because not only did this mannequin have a lifelike appearance, like nails and veins, but had a very close resemblance to the shop owner's daughter. The shop owner's daughter had passed away as she was getting ready to be married when she was bit by a scorpion. Not too long after her tragic death, that mannequin appeared in the shop window, which made many believe that this was the corpse of the daughter. Over the years, customers would claim that the mannequin's eyes would follow them around in the store, but no one really knows if this is true or just a hoax, but what do you think?
I am warning you, do not watch the Perez Hilton video from last night. Last night, on August 4th, Perez Hilton had a psychotic break on TikTok Live. Perez Hilton was standing in front of the camera, fully naked with absolutely no clothes on. He was covered in what we are assuming is his own blood. And when I say covered, I mean head to toe covered in blood. Perez had a very big knife in his hand and was repeatedly harming himself all over his body. He was moving in a very odd way, almost like he was dancing with the knife. At some point during the live, Perez said, "I'm surprised TikTok lets this stay," as he is harming himself on camera. TikTok did let Perez stay live for around 30 minutes before obviously banning the live. Perez also moaned and then said, "I did this for my children." At one point, Perez looks out the window and says, "Oh, shoot me," and then tells the live that the police are outside. Perez has been hospitalized for medical and mental health evaluation after police and emergency responders went into his house. I pray that Perez gets the help that he needs, and I pray for his family as well, because I am sure it is not easy to watch your family member go through something like that. But other than that, what do you guys think about all of this?
This reality TV star is charged with murdering, dismembering, and setting her ex on fire. And police want your help because his head is still missing. Tamika Chesler is a 34-year-old reality TV star who shot to fame over a decade ago on the Australian version of Beauty and the Geek. It's essentially a reality TV show where they kind of pair up very beautiful women with very intelligent guys and they make them do challenges. She then went on to do a lot of like glamour modeling work. In the show, she honestly seemed like a normal, nice, sweet girl, but what she's accused of is absolutely horrific. She had been living with her partner Julian Story in Port Lincoln. He was 39 years old and neighbours described him as kind to everyone. This all came to light on the 19th of June, just after 3 p.m, when a small fire could be seen coming from her home. Curious, a neighbour popped round to investigate and found honestly the most horrifying scene you could ever imagine. Julian's badly burned, disfigured remains were in full view, lay in the apartment. He was missing his head. Tamika was also found just outside of the property in the garden in a, quote, catatonic, unresponsive state. This poor neighbour immediately called police, obviously, and Tamika was arrested. They then obviously had to piece together exactly what had happened here. They scoured CCTV from the local area and found haunting images of Tamika wearing a black cloak, walking around with her dogs between the 17th and the 19th of June. She could be seen carrying a plastic bag, but it wasn't clear exactly what was in that bag. Police alleged that she killed Julian at their home and then decapitated him and set him on fire. Although searches have taken place, like I said, the police are still looking for his head, which is yet to be found. Tamika is charged with murder, destruction or disposal of human remains to obstruct justice, and assaulting a police or emergency worker, so I'm assuming she kicked off when she was arrested. She is currently being held in a psychiatric facility.
She ate her baby because she believed he was evil.
Matas, te voy a togues, decía así, y ya me lo había comido.
23-year-old Consuelo Vercal was from Casma, Peru, and lived with her 2 kids. In 1993, Consuelo was at home playing with her kids when she suddenly heard a strange voice in her head. This voice in her head told her that her 2-month-old son, Frank, was a demon in disguise. She was convinced that the only way to get rid of this evil spirit was to unalive her baby. Consuelo went to the kitchen to grab a knife and cut Frank open. She took out his organs, cooked them, and then ate them. When police had arrived to the scene, Consuelo was smiling and had no remorse. In 2001, Consuelo was interviewed at the psychiatric hospital she was sent to and recapped the day she ate her son. When she had gave details to that interviewer what had happened that day, she also told them that if they were to ever let her out, she would do it again. Consuelo is now in her early 50s, still at that mental hospital, and she will be seen holding stuffed animals and dolls and believes that those are the reincarnation of her son.
Police found him growling and making animalistic noises while actively chewing on the victim's face. What they didn't understand yet was that this wasn't a drug-fueled attack like the internet would later claim. On August 15, 2016, 19-year-old Austin Harif had been having dinner with his father at a restaurant in Jupiter, Florida. Witnesses said he suddenly became agitated, stood up from the table, and stormed out into the night barefoot. His father chased after him, but Austin disappeared into the darkness before anyone realized just how wrong things were becoming. For hours, he roamed aimlessly through nearby neighborhoods. Nobody knew it yet, but Austin was spiraling into a severe psychotic break. He believed he was being hunted by a demonic figure named Daniel. He wrote in journals about becoming half man, half dog. He believed he had superhuman abilities and that something evil was chasing him. Then he saw a light coming from an open garage. Inside were 59-year-old John Stevens and his wife, Michelle. The couple was well loved in their community and was known for turning their garage into a hangout spot. On warm Florida nights, they sit together with the garage door open, laughing, talking, and waving at people passing by. That night, Austin suddenly ran onto their property. At first, nobody understood what was happening, but within seconds, the peaceful evening turned into absolute chaos. Austin stabbed Michelle with a knife and a machete, believing she was a witch. When John rushed in to protect his wife, Austin turned on him too. The screams were so horrifying that a neighbor named Jeffrey Fisher rushed over to help, and Austin stabbed him nearly to death as well. He barely escaped long enough to call 911, and then deputies arrived. What they walked into looked less like a crime scene and more like something out of a nightmare. Austin was shirtless, crouched over John Stevens in the driveway, biting into the man's face while growling like an animal. Officers tried everything to pull him off. Tasers didn't work, even a police canine struggled to stop him. But what shocked investigators most came later. Toxicology reports found no drugs in his system. Multiple medical experts eventually agreed that Austin was experiencing a psychotic episode. In 2022, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and was committed to a severe psychiatric facility instead of prison, a decision that still devastates the victims' families to this day. What do you guys think about this case? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
The video you're about to see is the last video ever taken of 18-year-old Cameron Robbins, who disappeared after jumping off of a cruise ship.
Jump out! God! Oh, bye-bye! Oh, that's it!
Cameron had just graduated from high school on May 21st of this year, and to celebrate, he and a bunch of his friends went on a cruise to the Bahamas. They were all aboard the Blackbeard's Revenge Cruise, which was put together by an independent company called Grad Week. On May 24th at around 9:40 p.m., Cameron was dared to jump off of the cruise ship. The weather was reportedly pretty bad that night, and they were near the uninhabited Athol Island in Montagu Bay. After being dared, a group of students tried to physically stop Cameron, but he broke free and jumped off the boat anyway. In the video, you can hear students screaming for him to grab the buoy, but he quickly drifted away. The ship's crew executed the man overboard protocol, and since then, the US Coast Guard has searched over 325 square miles, but Cameron has never been found. And on May 27th, the search was officially called off. Cameron is presumed dead and has since been declared lost at sea, which is the same as a death certificate. After the video of him jumping off the boat went viral, a lot of people thought they could see a shadowy object move towards Cameron in the corner, and a lot of people believe that that could be a shark. According to the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, the boat was in shark-infested waters that night, and in that area there is a variety of marine life, including dolphins, tiger sharks, and bull sharks. But experts have stated that the video is too dark and blurry to know what exactly happened. And upon request from the Robbins family, the shark theory is no longer being investigated. Cameron was described as a fierce athlete who even continued pitching with a broken hand. But off the field, he was a funny, kind-hearted person who loved to go fishing and was always down for karaoke. He was also a leader in his church's youth group. A GoFundMe for Cameron's family has been set up and is attached to my profile if you'd like to donate.
Everything that you need to know on the ransom note in the JonBenet Ramsey case. On December 26, 1996, JonBenet's mother, Patsy, found a 2.5-page ransom note in the family home and her daughter missing. By that afternoon, JonBenet Ramsey was found in the basement of the home unalived. For the sake of time in this video, I'm not going to read the entire note, but I will put it on the screen now so you can pause and read. In this video, we're going to go over all the facts that we know about the note to determine if this is a legitimate note of a kidnapping gone bad, or perhaps a cover-up that was meant to look like a kidnapping. The first thing we know about the ransom note is its unusual size. Someone writing a ransom note typically tries to make it as short as possible, just sweet and to the point as to not give extra information away. The one detail I've always taken issue with in this note is the fact that the author refers to themselves and the group that took JonBenet as a small foreign faction. Even if it was true and the group of people that kidnapped JonBenet was a small group, I don't think it would make sense for them to tell the Ramseys that they were small. It doesn't make them seem intimidating, and if they're trying to hold power over the Ramseys, I just don't think this is something a kidnapper would say. Also important to note that the writer of the ransom note uses words like we when describing the people that took JonBenet because it's supposed to be a group, a small foreign faction. So in the beginning of the note, they use words like we are a group, we respect your business. So if this was a group effort, the writer would have a group mentality, but as the note goes on, they start using words like I and my, like sentences that include I advise you and my instructions. Another thing that the author of the note changes as the note goes on is their improper use of grammar and misspelling of common words. In the first paragraph of the note, the author is unable to spell common words, but as the note goes on, not only are they able to spell common words, but they're able to spell uncommon words like attaché. The author of the note also refers to JonBenet's father in the beginning of the note as Mr. Ramsey, and then as the note goes on, switches to calling him John. This would indicate that the writer of the note does not see JonBenet's father as Mr. Ramsey and probably actually knows him. Another indicator that the note was written by someone that knew the family personally is the fact that the note was requesting $118,000 for the return of JonBenet. This was the exact amount that John was getting as a Christmas bonus this year. So asking such a specific number is also strange, but also it's not actually that much money, and the Ramseys were a very wealthy family, so the ransom people could have asked for more money, closer to $1 million. Just the details of this ransom note was so odd, and also the fact that the ransom note was actually written on stationery and with a pen that was found in the home. The family was asked to give samples of their handwriting. JonBenet's father was concluded not to have written the note, but it was inconclusive whether or not Patsy, JonBenet's mother, wrote the note. And on the screen, I will show a sample of Patsy Ramsey's handwriting and a sample from the note, so you guys can determine if you think they are similar looking. I don't know, it's pretty sus to me. Also, when you think about the fact that many people that have analyzed the note have said that it was most likely written by a woman. I wasn't even able to go over every strange detail about this ransom note, so I actually plan on my YouTube channel posting a full deep dive analysis on the ransom note because I have a lot of opinions. I just started posting on YouTube this week. It's a brand new channel. I only have one video on there right now when this video is going up. But I do plan on posting on there every single week, so if you want to see my opinion on infamous true crime cases as well as a full deep dive analysis of this ransom note, you'll find my YouTube channel in the link in my bio. On my profile, you can also find a playlist of every video I've posted on JonBenet Ramsey, and in there is my theory about what I think happened in JonBenet, so if you're interested, that's where it'll be. This weekend on TikTok, I'm planning on posting a video of that case that just came out of Kansas City of the Chiefs fans that were found frozen outside their friend's house, as well as a full deep dive on the smiley face killer potential victims. And then also on YouTube, I want to try this weekend to at least film either the full deep dive analysis of the JonBenet Ramsey note and a full deep dive analysis of the Kendrick Johnson case. In the comments, please let me know your opinions on this ransom note and if there's a detail I left out that you want to make sure I include in my full deep dive on YouTube and what case you want to see me do next.
Police discovered a house of horrors where a 14-year-old girl had been tortured for nearly 10 years. Latricia Crawley and her boyfriend, Benjamin Lockett, took custody of their 5-year-old niece. They forced their niece to sleep inside a locked closet and then use a bucket to urinate and defecate inside of. They would pour boiling hot water all over her stomach and even smash her toes with a hammer. She was constantly tied up with zip ties and rope, causing permanent scarring on her skin. Latricia and Benjamin forced her to kneel on uncooked rice for hours, leaving her knees permanently disfigured. They would tape her eyes shut and dunk her underwater. They would also throw cold water on her while she was sleeping in the closet. They never let her drink water or eat any food. After enduring nearly 10 years of torture, the now 15-year-old victim used her school laptop to message her online teacher, saying, "My uncle told me I won't be able to eat nothing for a week. I have to wait till next weekend to eat. They tell me that I can't eat anymore. I don't want to stay no more. Send police."
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm on the phone with the customer now.
Okay, I guess something happened on virtual learning or something?
Yes, this
or...
is the second time she did it. I don't understand why she...
Is that her?
Yes.
What's going on?
Go put them underwear up.
What's going on?
Tell him what you did.
I got myself in trouble.
You got yourself in trouble?
Yeah.
25 with the student.
Man, she see me on her camera going on the side of the couch. She thought I was trying to steal something, but I told her I wasn't trying to steal anything. And then my uncle told me I won't be able to eat nothing for a week. I will have to wait till next weekend to eat. They tell me that I can't eat anything, they'll starve me. Then I tried to tell them that I wasn't lying. They thought that I was lying, but I wasn't lying.
Latricia and Benjamin have not been sentenced yet because their criminal cases are still ongoing. You know, something that absolutely just baffles me? It's the fact that other people lived in that house, including the victim's much older biological sister, and none of them did anything to help the victim. In fact, some of them helped Latricia and Benjamin starve the victim on purpose, which is absolutely and honestly just cruel. But what do you guys think about this case?
I thought I was gonna die yesterday, but I truly think the only reason I didn't is because of everything I've learned from being a true crime creator. My mom and I decided to bring her 2 friends to our favorite ice cream shop. We've been there constantly and we have never felt in danger up until yesterday. It was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The store was pretty filled. Mostly all of the tables were filled with families and there was only one worker at the store taking all of our orders. My mom, her 2 friends and I were sitting in the middle of the store. I was facing the back. My mom was facing the front entrance. We were all just talking, eating our ice cream, having a good time when another customer walks in. I saw him through my peripheral go straight from the front door to the back where the bathroom's at. And at first, that kind of caught me off guard because why are you entering an establishment without going to a register or ordering? But I know here in America, a lot of people do that. They just go into a store without ordering anything. So I didn't want to assume anything. However, the first thing that entered through my mind when I saw that man, he was wearing all black book bag, black button up, black dress pants, and black shoes. People wear all black, that's cool, but the way that he was wearing it, it just seemed very neat and intentional. So that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, okay? He walked to the back of the store and starts knocking on the bathroom door, but it was a weird knock because as he was doing it, he was like looking around a little bit. And in my head, I'm seeing all of this.
And the first thing that came to my mind was the yogurt shop murders. I know this may be a stretch, and if you don't know that case, I will storytell it for you. But a man basically went into an ice cream shop or a frozen yogurt shop. He went to the back of the store, entered the bathroom, and it is now assumed that that same man brutally 4 teenage girls while inside that store. And apparently he was actually a serial killer. Anyways, that was for some reason the first thing that came to my mind. He went to the bathroom, he was in there for a couple of minutes. I honestly forgot about him. I continued talking to my family, everything was fine until he came back out. Just for imagery, I am 3 tables away from the bathroom door. He walks out, goes to the first table. A mother and daughter are sitting there. I don't know what he's saying, but there is about a 5-second dialect that goes on between them. I couldn't see the mother's face, so I don't know if she felt uncomfortable. But then he moved to the next table, so now he is 1 table away from me. There were 2 young ladies about my age who were sitting there, and I could see one of the girls' faces. I saw her look at her friend, her eyes are widened, and all of a sudden, the man, he squeezes in between our tables to try and sit next to one of the girls, and immediately, the 2 girls, within a blink of an eye, they stand up, push their chairs in, and they start walking out. I'm not even joking, the moment he attempted to sit next to one of those girls, and I could tell that they did not know him, I stood up and I said, "Let's go," to my family, and I sped walk out of the building so fast that the 2 girls weren't even at the door by the time I was out. I held the door open for the girls, and I see behind them he is following them. So immediately I closed the door, hoping that could give them enough time to walk to their cars safely while he is still inside the building. He pushes the door open. Mind you, I'm outside and I'm terrified because he just did that right in front of my face. He walks by me and starts walking towards those 2 girls. My family finally comes outside and I'm like, we have to go. As we're walking away from the store, one of my mom's friends is like, what's going on? She's still eating her ice cream, mind you. She's like, what's going on? Why did we just leave so randomly like that? And that's when the man starts approaching her. He starts speaking to her, and I don't know what he's saying, but in my mom's friend's head, she's thinking, okay, we just randomly left the store. He must be asking me what's going on because I don't know what's going on. So she starts asking back, like, what happened? What happened? And that's when my mom, who understood exactly what was going on, went in between them to cut that distance because he was really close to her. She grabbed her friend's arm and she turned to the man and said, "Excuse me, I'm walking with her, back away from us." So we immediately turn around and start walking towards our car that's across the parking lot because the first thing that I'm thinking right now is that we need to get out of here. And as we're walking and walking, I make sure to keep my head slightly tilted just enough so I could see if he's following us from my peripheral. And just my luck, he was following us. Whenever my mom and I go to this ice cream shop, the parking lot is almost always empty. And just our luck, that specific day, the parking lot was entirely full. So we had to park across the entire thing. So now I'm in a situation where there is a man dressed in all black with a book bag and his hands in his pockets following me full speed across the parking lot. And one thing I've learned about doing true crime is that whenever you feel in danger, always look for people. And that's what I did. I'm speed walking and I'm keeping my head on a swivel, looking around, trying to see if there's anybody around us. And that's when I see 3 older men in front of us. They're headed in the same direction that we're trying to go in. So I yell out, "Excuse me, there's a man behind us that is following us and we do not feel safe. Can you please walk us to the car?" And they don't even say anything. They can see that we're genuinely terrified. They look around and that's when they see the man. They start forming kind of like a circle around us as they continue helping us walk to the car. And that's when I look back and he's walking even faster now. My mom is taking no chances. She starts clicking her key button to unlock the car. We get to the side of the door. I go inside. She goes inside. Her 2 friends go inside. And we click that lock button. Barely even giving the car a chance to start, my mom puts it in reverse, backs up, and she drives away. But I just want to show you guys how close this man was to us. This is where he was the moment we got inside the car. And honestly, if we had been 1 second later, I don't know what he would have done. I don't know if he had a knife. I don't know if he had a gun. I don't know if he had some type of bomb. It doesn't even take 1 second for somebody to come up close enough to you and stab you. You don't know. And then immediately as we drove away, he started approaching the men who helped us. Now listen, I don't know if he was mentally ill. I don't know if he had a plan. I don't know what his goal was, but I was not about to sit there and find out. Like, I just don't understand why you would follow 4 women, 3 of which are elderly and can't really fight back, without saying a single word. It was all just silence. These are 3 things that I learned from that situation. 1, if you feel something off, get out. 2, if you feel something off, go to the nearest people and ask for help. Never assume that you will get help. There is something called bystander effect for a reason. 3, make sure to have protection. I left my pepper spray at home and this is what happened. And 4, I actually just thought of it, record. It doesn't matter. Take a picture, record. That's what I did. That could have ended in a lot of different ways, but I'm glad that I am finally back at home. Me and my family, we are all safe. That being said, please be safe out there. Be aware of your surroundings. Do not be glued to your phone. Keep your head on a swivel. I love you guys. Mwah. Group hug.